It's been reported that you consider retiring last year. I don't think anyone's given you this opportunity to address that. Is that something that you think about?
No. Do I have plans down the road someday to retire? Sure, but I don't have any plans to do that. I'm going to keep.
Hey everybody. Hope everyone's having a great day so far, and we've got a huge ball game this weekend coming up between Georgia Tech and NC State. Our Jackets are riding high right now, sitting at 8-0. It's really just a great time to be a Georgia Tech fan. But on the other side of things, NC State has lost 4 of their last 5, and there's been some very interesting stuff going on with their head coach, Dave Doeren, as of this week. If you aren't already aware, many NC State fans and NC State media outlets alike are calling into question if Dave Doeren is going to be the head coach of the Wolfpack after this season. Really, it's for a lot of different reasons. People are speculating if he could get fired, or if he'll just go ahead and retire, or anything else in between. There's some real substance behind the speculation that he's not going to be their head coach next year. And there are a lot of signs pointing to this. In interviews, he's being asked if he's going to be with the program next year, and the answers have been somewhat vague. I understand it. I feel like NC State is a program. They've been very solid and consistent under Dave Doeren. They really haven't reached the heights that they really want to get to with him. And you can see it right here. Other than 2 years, they've always won between 6 and 9 games, but they've never really had a season where they went over the top and totally outperformed expectations. So if you're an NC State fan, I understand feeling a little bit fatigued over never really reaching new heights as a program and having a special season while Dave Doeren's been the head coach. And if you're Dave Doeren himself, I understand the feeling of maybe being burnt out and wanting to move on to something else. Just a couple other things that have gone on with NC State this week include a players-only meeting being held, and also Dave Doeren was quoted more or less complaining about some of the culture on last year's team, citing that some of the players were unhappy that they weren't getting the ball, which was very clearly a jab at KC Concepcion, who transferred to Texas A&M. With all these things happening, you can kind of read between the lines and see that the end is more likely than not coming for Doeren as far as his time with NC State is concerned. But regardless of whether he retires or not, let's just all clap it up for Dave. I think he's done a really solid job at NC State, and by no means should he be looked at as a bad time for NC State football fans. They've done a lot of really nice things with him as their head coach, so let's give him a round of applause. He's done a good job. So let's talk a little football. Starting with Georgia Tech, of course, everything's looking great. We're 8-0. The team is starting to really hit an incline, and our glorious king is starting to get the Heisman recognition that he really deserves. That's awesome as a fan. As a GT fan, I wasn't really around for Joe Hamilton, so this is the first time that I've seen like a true Heisman candidate at Georgia Tech, which is awesome. And the rest of the team is playing really well too. As far as injuries go, we're getting back Akilo Stone and probably Malik Rutherford. Both of those guys are going to be huge additions back. We've also got Harrison Moore coming back as well, and that's going to be really huge for our offense. And overall, I'm feeling really good about the team. The defense actually has held every single team we've played to less than their season average when it comes to points per game, and our offense is really starting to pick things up as well. One concern I have for this game from Georgia Tech's end is, are we going to have these slow starts that we seem to be having on the road? If you remember the Wake Forest and the Duke game, the offense played pretty poorly in both of those in the first halves. They had a total of 3 combined points between those 2 halves on offense, and we need to step it up. And a big part of it is Buster Faulkner really needs to start opening the playbook up more early in the game. I feel like early on, we've been coming out and running a very vanilla and basic version of our offense. And if we keep doing that, the team is eventually going to catch up with us and really put some pressure on us. And that's what NC State can do. They have a very explosive offense. and it all starts with their running back, Hollywood Smothers. This guy is the best running back in the ACC. He's one of the best overall players in the conference, and he's leading the ACC in total rushing yards with over 800. And he's clearing everybody by a pretty substantial margin. He's also complemented by NC State's quarterback, CJ Bailey, who's kind of turnover prone, but he's really explosive. He has a great arm. He can put up a lot of volume through the pass game. And while he hasn't rushed for a ton of yards, he is a really dynamic athlete. He burned us last year on the ground. I believe he ran for 3 touchdowns. And he's just a really dangerous player. If you want to get a comparison that's going to make sense for a Georgia Tech fan, he's like a better version of Jeff Sims. He's tall, he's athletic, he can make a lot of plays, but he's just overall a more consistent player. Going back to Georgia Tech, this is going to be the toughest road environment we've played in all season, except for maybe Colorado. But let's just face it, NC State has one of the most underrated home environments in the entire conference. And speaking of their home environments, I'm actually going to be at the game, which is really cool. I love going on road games, and I've never been to see a football game at Raleigh. Overall, I think NC State is going to come out and play with a ton of juice in this one. They're going to be playing for their coach, and I know that those guys love him a lot. So Tech is going to have to really play their best game and really dial in and just keep this momentum going. I believe we can do it. My final score prediction for the game is going to be Georgia Tech 33, NC State 24. I really like where the team's at, and I think the guys are going to be able to get it done. Hey everybody, it's Benny here, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has been watching and subscribing and commenting and all that kind of stuff on the channel lately. I just hit my 1 month anniversary when it comes to YouTube and putting up my first video, and since then we've hit just over 400 subscribers. And I know in the grand scheme of things that isn't anything crazy, but to me it's a ton, and I'm just really happy about it, so thank you. And I wanted to ask something of y'all as well. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out a ton. It gives me the motivation to keep doing this, and just like, trust me, I spend so much time doing this, and I try to make so much time. It's currently 2:33 in the morning, Thursday night. Well, I guess Friday. Happy Halloween, y'all. But anyways, I made it my goal quickly after this started getting some traction that I wanted to get to 1,000 subscribers before the season ended. And we're well on our way, but I would really appreciate it from y'all. And I also wanted to do a little bit of a community highlight, because that's what this is all about. It's all about the community. First and foremost, I want to shout out my guy, Randy. He always leaves the nicest and most positive comments, and it always makes me smile when I see stuff like that. And the superlative for most creative commentary definitely has to go to Girly Swirly. She always is just posting the funniest stuff, like puns and all that kind of stuff, and it's just always really creative. And I also wanted to give a big shout out to both Rec Talk and Sea Dog. If you're watching this and you're a Georgia Tech fan, you definitely know who those guys are. But in case you don't, go check them out. They both do a ton of great stuff on their channels, respectively. And I also wanted to shout out my buddy Ryan from the Catch a Buzz podcast. They started up last year, and they do a really good job. And they kind of make like longer form, stream of conscious type of content. So if you're into that, go check them out. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. And go Jackets, baby. Let's go get this win. Yeah, but deuces, y'all.